myself find ourselves haunted, not by the devil, but haunted by the decisions we made. Oftentimes, we make decisions so hastily that end us biting us. We find ourselves, we realize that, hey, we look at a track record and we realize that I've been making decisions so hastily, hard decisions so hastily. Sometimes when things get hard, you just make a decision. Now, I want to look at the aspect, just for a few seconds, if you will, the aspect of I prayed about that decision. Here are 3 books, and let's say these are paths that I need to look at. These are the paths that I need to follow. But this is what we do. When we come to God with a prayer, already we take, this is the one that's close to me, and say, Lord, please show me which one should I follow. But there's one that is close to our heart. Instead of laying things on the table and saying, Lord, which one do you want me to follow? God tells you, because when you do this, you come to God, already you've made a decision. You've made a decision in your heart. And you're coming like this as a matter of paper exercise, just to follow the procedure. You're coming to God and say, which one should I follow? If God says this one, and not the one that you've chosen here that's in your heart already, you're not going to hear that. You're not going to want to hear that. You're going to be looking at. You must say this. What you're going to hear is going to say this. You're going to be coming to convince God. You're going to be coming to convince yourself that God approves of this. And that's what sabotages a lot of us. And then we come to God when things go wrong. Over here, we come, but God, why? Because I prayed and this is what you said. Because when we come out of the prayer, how many people? Very few people can come back and say, having made this decision, can come back and say, God says not this that I've already made. God says one of these or none of these. What if God is saying none of these, but you I gotta come out with an answer? It's gotta be one of the person. It's like somebody, how many people, having started a relationship with someone, and you're finding out if this is the person I should marry, and you're coming to God. You've already started a relationship, you've already promised each other marriage, and now you're coming to pray before God and you're saying, Lord, how many come out and say, sorry, God says you're not the one I should marry? How many do that? God says, no, you're not the one I should marry. God says I must wait. Because even when God says nothing in that prayer, or even if you don't hear God in that prayer, you still come out with a decision. And at times, if He does not say anything, it's better for you to just wait where He last spoke than for you to move in a direction He did not tell you to move. So, be careful of your decisions. Just want to tell you that. Be careful. We make so many decisions and they come back to haunt us. We are haunted by our own decisions. Of making tough decisions so hastily. Just 1 minute, you can just uproot your life in just 1 minute. And having convinced yourself that God says, yet He had not said. Or maybe He said a different answer. Because I always say, no is still an answer. No is still an answer. And sometimes you need that person to say no. You need him to say, no, not this one. Why is it that whenever you pray in all your decisions, ever since you started praying, your God always says yes? That's the one, yes. That's the one, yes. That's the one. Yes. Everything you come there. Yes. You are so fortunate. But you gotta be able to hear the voice of God clearly, even when He says no. Oftentimes, we make this one last point. Oftentimes, we want to hear God telling us about breakthrough. We want to hear His voice telling us about so many things, about so many decisions. But yet, we cannot hear His voice. We ignore His voice, rather, when we are about to sin or when we're thinking of sinning and He says no. We ignore His voice. Now, if you ignore His voice in that state, how do you expect to hear His voice when it comes to the big decisions in your life? Just something for you to think about. Trace back, look at your hasty decisions. If you've been making hasty decisions, I plead with you that you need to be careful from this point forward. If you've been making hasty decisions and they've been coming back to bite you, I would say judge yourself and find yourself incapable of making a big decision by yourself. And have counsel, godly counsel, to make the right decisions in your life. Seek wisdom to ensure that you do it. Because sometimes wisdom will tell you, no, it's not the time. And I know it's an answer you don't want to hear at that time, but it's a year down the line, 2 years down the line, you'll be grateful that you listened to the no, rather than your yes that was inside here, that is able to convince and lie to your spirit that God says. Just something to think about so that you don't get haunted by your own decisions. Bye. See you on the next video, guys. I love you a lot. Please don't forget to subscribe.